Good morning, BookTube. Hope you're all doing well. It is early Wednesday morning. Just got back, got to the mechanic early, got an oil change, and I am back with another video for y'all today. And please pardon the new setup. Usually I have the phone propped up facing toward my desk, but today the phone is sitting on my desk facing me in the chair. Doing a little something different today, just a quick and easy setup. So yeah, recently I put up my first poll ever in the community tab on my page. I asked I had two different ideas for a new video. Wanted to gauge people's reaction. The two ideas I have for a new video. One was my favorite concert that I've ever been to. The second one was my new hobby of collecting decks of cards. Put it up there. We're just curious to see what people were more interested in. About like 2/3 of the people who voted said both were interesting, and then my favorite concert slightly edged out the new deck of playing cards, or the new collection of playing cards. So here are today. It's time to talk about my favorite concert. And if any of you are into pop culture, you can probably understand why I'm interested in making a video for my favorite concert today. After all, yesterday morning, here we go, repping the shirt, Ozzy Osbourne passed away. And obviously when any big celebrity you admire, when they pass away, it's always sad. But then there's always that special group of people that are personal to you, where when they pass, you kind of go like, "Wow, that one really hurt." I can honestly say there's really only one other musician whose death really hurt me. That the guy who got me on a personal level. That was actually Glenn Frey of the Eagles. So yeah, Eagles and Ozzy Osbourne. If I had multiple personalities, you guys would tell me, right? So Eagles and Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne. You can't get more opposite than that. But yeah, Glenn Frey, he passed away a long, 2010 or so, 2011. I remember his death. It was part of the reason why it was tragic, because supposedly he died from uh, side effects from his arthritis medication. And or of course they went to court over it actually, and of course that stuff's not made to the public. So there was some kind of lawsuit there. So yeah, Glenn was taken too young. And then you have Ozzy, lived to the ripe old age of 76. And man, those two deaths hurt. Thankfully, a lot of the ones that, like Bruce Springsteen, Billy Joel, a lot of these guys are still alive and kicking. So a lot of the guys who still meant a lot to me personally are still alive and thriving. But yeah, it doesn't make it any easier. A couple of quick words before I get to my favorite concert. Remember when I really started getting into music, I was maybe 6th grade, 7th grade, and you thank my mother for that, because we were in the car one day. She started playing, like the Eagles, the Beatles, like Frank Sinatra, all the stuff she loved. And even one guy she played all the time, Barry Manilow. I would say this: I love Barry Manilow. That guy is amazing. So yeah, like I said, with the multiple personalities, I got Barry Manilow and Ozzy Osbourne, and the Eagles. I like variety. What can I say? So yeah, so of course, so I'm at that age, 6th grade, 7th grade, and then I started exploring other genres of music of my own. So I discovered hard rock and heavy metal, and of course, one of the figures that emerged immediately was Ozzy Osbourne, because the reality show had just come out. So to me, that's how I was introduced to the man, as on this groundbreaking reality show, like this crazy family. So it's and plus his kids are my age, maybe a year or two older. So I was yeah, you grow up with these people. It's you hear actors talk about all the time too, who've had big success in television and films. They always say there's something special about television because you're entering people's homes every week. So yeah, that was me. I had the Osbournes. So then of course I knew the funny, crazy family. Then I later discovered that Ozzy was a big rock star himself. Discovered his solo career first, and then, being the history lover I am, got to know all about rock and roll, I would go backwards and discover Black Sabbath, some of the founding fathers of heavy metal. And let's see. And I stick with them. Even in recent years, the Osbournes have a podcast where they broadcast on YouTube. It's the four of them sitting in the living room. Even then, it's I joke around every time I watch the podcast. I always say it's I'm connecting with my crazy relatives. I grew up with all these people. Oh, funny story. Yesterday when I got out of work, you see it just as on a whim, as a joke. I wrote Ozzy across my knuckles, because Ozzy, he had his name tattooed across his fingers. So I did it as a joke. That was yesterday, and I still can't get the ink off. It's from a Sharpie, so it's all good. There we go. It's Ozzy. you're gonna have some ink stuck on you, might as well be Ozzy's name. Now let's get to the main focus of this video today, shall we? My favorite concert ever. We have to go all the way back to 2010. It was a heavy metal show. First, I'll give you the location. It was the Starland Ballroom in Sayreville, New Jersey. Starland Ballroom, one of my favorite venues. Like, I've seen so many acts there, from like not just rock but like country music. I've seen a lot of big acts come through there. It's a fantastic club. And it's kind of funny. The building's been there since the 70s. So like, when you look at the layout of it, like there's the stage where the band is. In front of them is the dance floor, and then on both sides of the dance floor are two bars, and then above the dance floor where the spectators stay they still have the disco ball there. It's really funny. It's just funny to see that disco ball in the middle of like a metal show. So yeah, that place has been going strong forever. And like I said, a lot of prominent names still go to this place. It's like if they come to New Jersey, it's either the Starland Ballroom or they're going to the beach in Asbury Park, or if they're big enough, the Prudential Center. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to flip the lens on my phone, and I'm going to show you my tablet with all of the photos, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to talk as I'm showing the photos. First, I'm going to explain why I loved this show so much, and then also the main reason why it's my favorite is because of what happened after the show, which was not expected. But we'll talk about that in a moment. Here we go, folks. I got my tablet set up here with my photos. So for starters, it was a double bill. There's these two bands, King's X and Accept. So the name of the two bands. And first of all, I'll tell you right out why this was my favorite concert ever. Or rather, probably the best concert I've seen. Very simple, folks. Both of these bands have been around since the late 70s. In this case, King's X is a trio. Bring up one photo for you. There's two of them. The three guys in this band, King's X, have been together since the 70s. And the band, the headliner, Accept, that band's been in existence since the late 70s too. There have been two mainstays since the beginning, and a couple guys have joined the band in and out. Bottom line, these guys have all known each other and played with each other for decades now. So why was this the best concert I ever saw? It's very simple. These guys are all masters of their craft, and it was amazing to watch. This guy right here too. This is the King's X bass playing singer named Doug Pinnick. He's a tall guy, and the guy had like the biggest hands I've ever seen in my life. You see that bass playing singer. A little quicker little rule, people. If you see a band with three musicians in it, they got to be good. To do what they do with only three people, it has to be amazing. Let me jump around. I have a lot of photos, so I'm only going to show you the best ones. There you go. Here's Doug. There he is. Oh, look at those hands. Jesus. There he is. Bass playing singer. And you can see me in the background. Hello. Let's see here. What else do I got? There we go. There's Doug, and there's the guitar player Ty in the back there. Yeah. This is my introduction to King's X too, and I had a friend at the time who was really into them, so he got me excited, and the band did not disappoint. They were amazing. See, I had a shot at the drummer here. There he goes. There he is. Can't leave out the drummer. See him? This was in the middle of a solo. He was going crazy. And also, you can probably tell by the photos too, I got there early. I was right up against the guardrail. So I was right up front. Got some great shots. All right. Now let's move on to the main event, shall we? Actually, see if I got any more photos. Let me show you one more real quick. There we go. The guy was like, Doug Penny, he was like in his 60s, and he's still like multiple abs with his shirt off. Like, we're all jealous of the guy. Let's see. There we go. I got all three of them there. Kind of funny too. I have to point out, I was like 21 years old at the time. I looked like I was 16. So I can only imagine what these musicians thought looking out at the crowd. There's like a sea of middle-aged men, and then me. I like to think it was hysterical from their point of view. Anyway, let's move on to the main eventer, the band Accept. Now, quick note about these guys. Like I said, they've been around for decades. They had like one hit that was played on the radio a lot. It was a song called Balls to the Wall. If you heard it, you probably know it. It's been used in a lot of movies and whatnot. And their singer, guy was named Udo Dirkschneider. I mentioned this band's from Germany. So Udo in addition to the band Accept, he had his own solo project. And it came time to pick one or the other. He picked a solo project. Understandable. It's his name. He probably had more control, and he can play Accept songs too. So the band had been dead since like 1996, and then 2010, the band has a new singer. There's this guy right here. He's actually a good Jersey boy named Mark Tornillo. Mark Tornillo. He was like this is before my time, but in the 80s, he was a big on the scene in New Jersey here. It's like we love our hard rock and heavy metal here in our nice state. So yeah, so a lot of the old timers knew who he was. Everyone was excited to hear that he was in this band. Let's jump around again here, folks. Here's another one of Mark. Here we go, Mark doing his thing. I'll post some of these photos in my community tab later so you can see them in the full resolution without all the distortion here. And let's see, here we go. There, that's Wolf Hoffman, front and center. He's the lead guitar player. Yeah, so he's the only original band member still left today. Like, the other guys have all stepped down. For the longest time, he and the bass player, a guy named Peter Baltus, were the sole founders left in the band. Peter retired. Check out this one. This one I'm proud of. There you go. That's, they said Wolf Hoffman on the right and Peter Baltus, the bass player, on the left. And very proud of that photo. It's one of my favorites that I've taken. Yeah, let's see what else we got here. There we go. There's Mark Tornillo on the right there, and this the guy on the left, that's Herman Frank. He's like the rhythm guitarist in the band. Herman was a funny guy. So yeah, I guess he spotted me like the baby face among all the middle-aged men, and he actually posed for a photo for me. See if I can find it. There he is. And you can see in the background there's Mark and the drummer Steve Schwartzman. They're all looking, they're laughing. And so you had Herman Frank. He saw me taking photos and he posed for me right in the front. Love that guy. He's one of the members I mentioned. He's been in and out of the band over the decades. Yeah, great guy. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. There's Peter Baltus, the bass player. Look how soaked he is, man. And his shirt is soaked all the way through. There you go. Love that. This one guy got in my shot, ruined it. There we go. Let's see. I'll show you a couple more here. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, the hair and the only guy in the band with hair, like going wild right there. That was kind of like an Accept's thing. Like the guitar players, they would all stand like side to side like that, and like in unison, like bop up and down. It was kind of like their thing. There we go. I'm gonna start posting more of their songs in my lyrics or poems thing on that I like to do on my community tab, because they got some good ones. Let's see what else. Bring on. Oh, check out this one. This one I'm proud of too. Here we got the two of the original members of the band, Wolf and Peter again. And they're blazing solos, like the light shining off the guitars. Yeah, love that one. So what else? I'll wrap it up for you too. Let's see here. Any more good ones? There we go. Just close the show. We got all of them lined up at the end. There we go. That brings it home, folks. Okay, so now I gotta explain to you why. I'll leave this image up for everybody. So I gotta explain why this. Actually, no, I take that back. I got a little better one. Here's the whole band taking a bow. I like the drummer Steven Schwartzman. He likes to wear short shorts. It makes it easier to drum, I guess. So here we go. Here I got the whole band. And you see that guy. These are the days before camera phones. We actually had cameras. There we go. Okay, enough of that, folks. So I gotta explain why this is my favorite show I've ever been to. So I remember the show was on Saturday night, and the band was going to do an autograph signing the next day on Sunday. There's a great mom and pop record store, Vintage Vinyl. Sadly, this Vintage Vinyl place closed because of the pandemic. But they were a famous spot. I've actually never been there because I lived a little further up north, and my record store was the place I mentioned a lot in my videos, Jack's Music in Red Bank. So yeah, this place, Vintage Vinyl, like they were going to have an autograph signing. So also, I should mention too, when you go to this place, the Starland Ballroom, when the bands all go to like the merchandise stand after the show, like the openers, they all go there. You can meet them, you get signature, get a picture with them. They all go to the merch stand after the show. So uh, sometimes I stay. I thought, but this band Accept, they did the autograph. Right, they were going to do the autograph signing the next day, so I figured, yeah, they're not going to be at the merchandise booth. So my plan was, after the show, go to the booth, buy a copy of the CD, and then I would get that signed the next day. So I'm waiting at the booth. I get my CD, and this like older guy, middle-aged guy comes. A couple of them are standing at the booth. I guess one of the managers in the place comes out. He goes to the other guy. He's like, "Yeah, the band will be out in a moment." And I'm thinking, "Excuse me?" So I stuck around there, and sure enough, they all came out, one after the other. I met them all. They all signed my CD. Especially, Herman again, the guy who posed for me. He laughed when he saw me because, like I said, I'm 20 years old. I looked like I was 16. I was such a baby amongst these middle-aged men. And Steven, he was like, they were all such cool guys. I remember Steven gave me a big fist pump after the show. The Steven, the drummer. Wolf, yeah, all great guys too. These guys are all top notch in my book. Anyway, so yeah, folks, there it is. My favorite concert. I'll leave it there. I'm gonna see. I'll play some more music in honor of Ozzy. I know, like his channel on Sirius, Ozzy's Boneyard. They're playing nothing but Ozzy and Black Sabbath music for the rest of the week. Yeah, I'll tune in to that, hear all like the DJs sharing memories and whatnot with their former boss. Anyway, folks, thank you all for watching. Let's see. I mentioned before I do this second video I put in that poll, the deck of cards. I'll make that one pretty soon. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that one as well. So anyway, thank you all for watching, folks. And look on the future on my community tab. I'll share some clips of the different songs from these guys. Definitely worth checking out. They're really great. Like I said, masters of their craft. They've been around for decades. All right. Have a nice day, everybody. I look forward to seeing all of you. Look forward to seeing all your videos soon. Take care.